Hey guys, welcome to the KANU Chronicles podcast, Solocast that I'm doing myself, Nate, aka Crash, and we're gonna get into episode 232, forging ahead, keeping things fresh, all that shit. So just jumping into another day here, guys. Let me get it out of the way. If you haven't followed me yet, check me out on Twitter at KANU Chronicles. And then if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at GRTN and the number 8. Either one, it'll always keep you update to the podcast when it's going to drop, if I'm going to be late. Most of the time, it's on schedule, no problem. But, of course, if you've been listening just in these past 2-3 weeks, you would know that, well, it's really just been 2 weeks, but you would know that it's been a little bit off its schedule. But I think I got you guys covered this week. I got ahead of it, gave you something on, I gave you guys something on Saturday, Sunday, I believe. I can't remember which day it dropped. Anyways, the weekend. So I gave you a weekend drop, nice, good bit of material, give you a good bit of shit, giving you the entering the 2020 episode. And if you actually, right now as I speak, I'm just getting it prepared, but I'll have a drop tonight. So you're going to be getting a midweek. So we're getting a little bit right back on track. This one, probably you're going to hear, I don't know. I'm not going to even say. We're not going to even say, but it's going to be obviously this week. This is going to be the fresh to death one, the newest. But, I'm going to, we're going to be keeping it, like I said, I'm going to be trying to keep it off kilter, guys. Give you what you need. I'm going to keep it on schedule, but I'm going to be giving you some extra shit. You know what I mean? So I'm getting you warmed up because those premium episodes are coming. That is definitely going to happen. So no, don't worry. Just keep hanging in there. We're going to get this all squared away. But, so this episode, we're in the middle of the week. Got the socials. I already gave the socials. Yeah. So, if any of that social media, also, if you want to help the podcast, please check out any of the show notes. That's where you'll see the social media handles. If you're like, what the fuck was that? He spoke so quick, or, whatever. I wasn't paying attention. And also within the show notes, you'll see, if you're not signed up with Postmates, go ahead. Please use my code. It's MARTOFF. You just use that code and you're good to go. Click on the link, whatever. Click on the link there. And that'll take you to what you need to do. And I'm all good. I get my little thing. You get your hookup and we're good to go. So, Robinhood also, definitely got to keep recommending Robinhood, which I need to get back on my shit, buying stocks. Got to start buying stocks, guys. It's easier than ever. Why fuck around? It's, I think, pretty much no fees or anything. Check out Robinhood. It's, why not? Why not give it a shot? All you got to do, you can start with $5. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to invest. There's all kinds of stocks. You don't have to think about, I can't afford Apple stock, or, I can't afford this stock. There's stocks for pennies. There's stocks for dollars. You name it. And that's how all this stuff begins. Doesn't mean they're going to take off in then one day or whatever, but you're going to start learning. You're going to start building an account, and then eventually you can start trading and maybe trade up to better stocks that you want to get. Whatever. So just get into it. Check out the Robinhood app. It's in my show notes in this episode that you're listening on. Whatever platform that is, it'll be there in the notes. You click on that link, and it'll take you to where you need to go. Thank you very much. Also, you could support the show through ilovekanu.com. That's the letter I, the letter I, LOVEKANU.com/shop if you want to get right down to the nitty gritty. Check out a little bit of the stuff we have. order something. Gonna have some new shit. I know I've been saying that, but I'm gonna get on it, guys. Get you some new stuff and make this shit really pop. But I got my shit. I did get a hoodie. I did get my fucking Scully cap. I'm wearing my hoodie right now. The skull cap's cool. I think it's a little bit tight. I'd like a little different version of that, but it's still cool. So, I'm gonna get, I got my Look Deep shirt. I gotta actually clean it, I think. It's in the wash. And, the Look Deep shirt's super comfortable. All of it's awesome. So anyways, I'll be, there'll be more to come. Anyways, excuse me. Woo, another beautiful day in LA so far. Morning time, it's 50 some degrees, 54, depending where you're at. Doesn't matter. You're listening to the show on a treadmill or in an office meeting where you're not supposed to, or, any number of places. And, you're in another country, you're in another state, whatever. Maybe you are in LA. Hey, you know what's up. But it's that time of year. So, beautiful weather, though, very clear. But I don't get to just go enjoy it. I'm going to be going to work. But it's a good day. Definitely. Always very fortunate. I'm on big time, great film lot. So it kind of doesn't feel like work at the same time. It's it's just a job like that, basically. And, that's what's up. No, I work in film. I do film, I work in film, hey. No, but I do. Let me clarify. It's digital, but we work on film files that were made from the film. That's really what's going on these days. I'm not touching any film. There's somebody else. There's other people that do that. But I wouldn't mind getting into some of that, learning some of those things. It's all good, even if you don't do it full time, just to even learn or see the process firsthand, which I have. I've definitely been around. I see what's going on. I've seen the film cleaning process. The scanning process. Back in the day, telecines with the film scanners, that was like so huge. That was a big business, but those are less now needed because basically they're doing stuff from hard drive as well. All of the people these days mostly are working on a computer. Obviously from graphics, or guys like me, editors, colorist, you name it, pretty much all working on hard drive, using a server, pointing it, and getting the information, and then working from the software they use. And, other tools, special keyboards or stations that have, manipulation. You can manipulate things from I guess you would say like a console. I guess that's the right word, a console. It's like if you're a recording engineer in the audio world, you have a mixing console. So Telecine has a console where they can manipulate the colors. They have these roller balls. So, you could do things on the computer the same way, but, you get to find, there's just some extra advantages with that. It's kind of a blend of analog into the digital. So that's all we're talking about, guys. So there you go. I'm giving you a little insight to the industry. That's the world I'm in, that particular world. So we're, the post-production part of the industry is very much there's a lot of phases. Our phase is more in the real after everything's been really done for the most part. But there's always like tightening up or changes or improve, things we can improve, from older stuff. If there's like Now, when you're talking like somebody editing the film, what you're seeing on a screen, where is that getting done? We do, I would imagine we do have some editing, but I think at that point, we're in our kind of place is like, that's like kind of like further down the line after a lot of it's been done. And a lot of, I would say probably the bulk of what's going on that you're seeing in terms of all that is happening. Most of it is even on the day of. They'll edit film as they actually film these days in certain productions, you know. Now, it's not the final edits, but it's going to get it starts forming the film, essentially. You're starting to organize it and get it prepared, and yeah, it just starts the process. And then, you know, once it's wrapped, at that point, you probably have edited maybe 50%, like it might be really that close. And then after that, I'm just making up stuff, I don't know exactly, but these aren't things that are too off base, though, trust me. And then I would imagine, yeah, it'd be as part of the same production team at that point. And then they would either they maybe do it at their own facility, which can be all kinds of stuff, really. But mostly it's going to be it should be an approved facility in terms of MPAA. But I wouldn't doubt that those get bent here and there a little. But no, if it's a super budget or, you know, an official bigger release type title, you're going to have those things pretty much in accordance. So, yeah, so that's all done, and then, yeah, and then it goes from there, and then a place like us gets it from there, pretty much. Or they did it, or they are doing it in a facility like ourselves. They might just bring their guy in, and they want to get a room, and they do it like that. They, you know, that very well goes on, too. But I would say a lot more times that's not, they really, really keep it in-house, like, as much as they can before they start wanting to get it out to anybody else, because piracy, you know, trust issues, stuff like that. But they have all kinds of protocols to make sure that there's no need for all that, but there's still a lot of there's guys that still get concerned, or, you know, they don't, and rightfully so, you know, things get leaked, you know, so they want facilities to be super secure, which they really are. I mean, quite honestly, you have to be, for a guy or somebody in a place to want to do that, you're like, you just want to get out of the career. Like, that's so foolish. And it's, you know, you'll face some serious charges, really, you know, if a place would decide to do so, which they probably would, because they're getting fucked. So yeah, it's not a great idea at all. I mean, you better be getting some serious offer. You better be doing it for some shit, not just like, oh, I want to get this, you know, I don't know. And even then, it's not worth it, man. I wouldn't, yeah, no, most anybody I know, nobody wants to do that shit. That's just foul. And it's foul. It's not even, it's a principle thing, man. You know, we really, at least, to me, the guys, I'd say anybody that's serious in this business, and it's a lot of us, you know, we're not cool with that, you know, when it comes down to it. It's like, fuck that, you know, even when it comes personal. But, you know, at the same time, there's plenty that partake in getting free, you know, some free streaming over the years and stuff, and people will be honest about that. I mean, it's just the way it's been. There's nothing you can do about that. But I'd say most in the business, we really try to, you know, we go support ourselves, go to the movies, you know, I'm not the best at it. I'm going to admit it. And a lot, there's plenty of us that aren't. And a lot of that is really because, yeah, we're working on them so much. So you're just not, you know, you're not going to be, sometimes so like excited, like, oh, I got to go see, you know, you get, unfortunately, you could get kind of, you don't mean to, but it's like you get jaded in the sense of like, to me at least, I'm just speaking for myself, but the movies can get just real predictable. You know, you start really getting a sense of how, I'm not like an expert, I haven't made my own, all that shit, and I haven't written one, so, you know, respect to anybody that's crafted a movie. I've done a music video, so that's a small budget, so it's nothing to compare, but still, just on that level, definitely got that much more respect, obviously, to anybody that does the craft in a true way, because it's a very involved process. Music's one thing. Music's great. You know, it's very kind of technical too, depending on what you're doing. But movie production, even if it's not some big time thriller thing, but like if it's a true, you know, production, I mean, it's got a lot more moving parts. We'll put it that way. A lot more shit you gotta fucking get signed off and everything else. Yeah, they're two different worlds for sure. But I appreciate both of them. I really do. And so yeah, you'll hear me talk about this time to time. I'll probably be talking about it a little bit more. And definitely, hopefully, I got to get some guests that would be able to contribute greatly, and I have some people in mind. So, it's just a lot to get into. But that's to save to, you know, just get into. I don't want to just, you know, talk around it, all that type of thing. So, anyways, yeah, going back past the Burbank Airport in beautiful downtown Burbank. No, it's not downtown, but it's pretty close. Yeah, if you're flying out here, guys, if you're I'm going to give you my little tourist advice with Nate. Tourist. I'm going to start making these segments. Yeah, for real, though. So, a little tourist advice. Yeah, if you're coming to LA tourist advice, I should call it. Because I'm out of LA, so that's the kind of advice I'm giving you is LA, Hollywood, Santa Monica, all those, anywhere that's 20 miles from the city of LA, basically. I could cover a good bit of this town and give you some little tidbits pretty well. But, this is the big one. If you're flying to LA and you want the best flying experience, come to Burbank Airport if you can. It's going to cost you more, but if you get it further out from the date, like really probably 2 months, like something pretty good, and go for Southwest, see if there's anything from your city, because that's the major carrier. But there's a lot of other flights coming in here, so don't think that you just got to look at them. But I'm telling you guys, even if it's $100 more or something, just do it. And especially because of your first time too, let alone a returning visitor, but you're gonna just you're gonna be so happy that you did, and it's something you're gonna just do from there on. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be, you'll have the better trip stories of coming. You won't have this nightmare about the airport and all this crap. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying you can't do LAX. It is, you could deal with it. It's not like, I don't think it's the worst. It's just that it damn well takes long. But however, if you're staying out in Santa Monica, in that side of town, it is going to be more convenient. But coming out to Burbank isn't bad if you do have to do that extra little travel from, where you're going to stay. Type thing. So that's the things you also got to consider is where you're staying in relation. I'll just say LAX versus Burbank in terms of you getting in, getting out of the place and all that. It's probably about an hour's difference at least. Sometimes. LAX doesn't always have to be too difficult, but it's going to be always busy. There's no perfect time to say, oh, just come in at this time and it's not bad, or no, it's constant. It's like 20. It almost is 24 hours at this point. It's really close. I know that there's some time. I think there is some time off there, but it's really close to a 24-hour facility for the most part. But they are slowly been making improvements. I think the problem with LAX that happened is, just like a lot of this city in some ways, it's just outgrown itself, and it wasn't, initially designed thinking about, what it was going to be today, and how much, as far as the traffic of people, they didn't know that it was going to get to that level when they did it. Now, it is a good, actually, size-wise, isn't bad. That's, considering, because it could have been, maybe they could have messed it up worse, years back, but they've done it, as well as they probably could have. I don't know, maybe there's better opinions. I'm not an engineer, or architect, I should say, or whatever. Maybe there's something they could have did ahead, years back to make things better at this point, but it is what it is. So the thing that's going on, though, they are getting a train about to connect there. I don't know when. I got to look that up, but that's going to be real key. That's going to be very helpful. Sure, a lot of people won't even want to deal with that. I get it, but I don't know. I think that'll be great. It's just going to be another advantage. You could just take it to downtown, and maybe you stay downtown. It's just going to really come down to what do you want to do when you get here, or where do you want to stay. Like, you just got to look at if you're looking and coming out here, just look at first, where do you want to stay in the city? Don't book the flight. I wouldn't necessarily book the flight first. I would start with the hotel, and obviously the flight, maybe together, maybe like close together. But I would start with the hotel, like determine where you want to stay, and then you could base what you want to do then, Like, if you want to go to Disneyland and all that, you're just, fly to John Wayne and stay down there too. Don't even bother. You might want to just keep that as a Disney trip, You can come up to LA. It just depends on how much time you're going to I would say if you're going to have anything less than 4 days, just stay around there. Have a great time. There's plenty of stuff to do in Anaheim and all that area. The beach, there's, Huntington Beach. There's beaches nearby, other beaches too, I'm sure. I'm not thinking of for sure, anywhere on the Pacific Coast down there. So I would just say, just seriously, if you're coming out for like a Disneyland trip, seriously, I would just stay around that area. Now, if you're staying longer than 4 days, pretty much, or even in 4 days, you could do more. You don't have to. Maybe you just want to do Disney and all that for 2 days, great, and then you do 2 days up here, so then in that case, that's where I would say, if I would do that as a visitor, I would stay at Disney for 2 nights or whatever, and then I would book a place in I would book in Santa Monica. You're probably going to leave LAX, I guess. You fly in John Wayne, so that way you're close, right, to Disney, and immediately you're just in a good spot, right? And then, what do you call it? And then you do your thing, right? And then you fucking go to, stay in Santa Monica. So that way you're still relatively close to LAX, and then you leave LAX, you know what I mean? But that way you're in Santa Monica, and from Santa Monica you get to Hollywood really easy. Uber's not going to cost that much for the most part. If you want to go downtown, if you want to utilize the public transportation, you're good now. Santa Monica has it right there. There's a train. Very simple. It's going to go right to downtown. You don't have to wonder and get all freaked out. That train's going to take you right to downtown. You don't have to worry. You just stay on it. And because it's one train, there's not all this extra. It's not like you got to be super confused about anything. But hold that. So anyways, you could so if you did a 4-day trip, that's what I'd recommend if you want to do the most. That's a good trip, and it's not going to be, you won't be too freaked out. It'll be good. You literally, 2 days Disneyland, fantastic. You'll definitely see probably all of it. You'll be fine, especially if you give yourselves both days, like truly want to go like that. And even if you don't, if you just do 1 day, still, I'm telling you, spend the rest of the time, that other day around there. Don't rush off. And but yeah, do the 2 days there. Come up, do 2 days in Santa Monica. And like I said, from Santa Monica, you could definitely hit downtown. And from downtown, you could hit Hollywood. If you want to do the train, like I said, if you want to not just only save money, but also get a cool tour, because like a good bit of that train going from Santa Monica downtown is above ground, so you'll get a little tour from that, and then it goes below ground from downtown to Hollywood, and then go to Hollywood, take a tour. They're going to cost. Just plan on spending about $100 a person. It might be less, I'm sure. It doesn't mean they're that high, all of them, but I'm just giving you a high amount so you can just think in those terms. But tell them, I bet you they're pretty worth it, though. I mean, I think they're at least 2 hours, most of them. And yeah, there's a lot of choices now, a lot of different tours. Try to be careful with scams. I'm sure looks like most of those are pretty good out there. I'm sure they're doing their, you got smaller guys trying to do their thing, so don't give them a chance to. I haven't heard anything too negative, but just still kind of, use your own senses too with people, because people will take advantage, so, but yeah, that's a good way though, if you want to save a few bucks. There's a lot. You could, get this, you can, I can't remember the Sunset Ranch. I think it's Sunset Ranch or something. I'm pretty sure I'm right. But it's up in Hollywood, up towards the sign or around that area. You could find it on Google. I'm sure you could ask somebody. But you could go horseback riding too, right here. And that one, I think there's, because I Ubered the guy. I don't know if the guy's still there. He probably could be. But he was kind of running the place, or working it. It wasn't his place, but he was working there and taking care of the horses and the whole nine and doing the tours. I'm sure it was like him and a couple people, because it's not like one horse or anything like that. But anyways, I think it was something like, again, I think that one was like, there's a 1 hour and then there's a 2 or 3 hour maybe. But it's sounded for the price and everything. You just might as well go for the bigger one. You get a better, overall bang for your buck, if you want to call it, and you're going to have a probably even way better tour. Both are probably great, but that one, was recommended a little bit. But so any horse lovers, or somebody who likes, nature, or just something different, not the typical hanging out in the Hollywood scene and that's it. This is something else to do, man. So you could do all those things. You could do that in the 4 days. Definitely. Like I said, get to Hollywood, or you're in Santa Monica, you spend time in Santa Monica, or you might want to stay on that side of town. You might not want to go to Hollywood or anything, and that's fine. Because there's plenty to do and eat there, and it's nice and relaxing. The beach and a whole nine. You could check out Venice Beach, Marina Del Rey. You could take a ride up to Malibu. I'm sure there's some other activities down there I'm not aware of. But it's more like going to eat, going to a movie, shop, catching sun, maybe you're active, you want to play volleyball down on the sand. There's a little amusement park on the pier, stuff like that. So there's a lot to do there if you just want to stay on that side of town too. But for any of you guys that are like, I want to pack it in and really get my visit, really feel like you got somewhere. So you just got to pick, I would just say be strategic. That's the key. Like each day is going to be like, if you're going to really be about like, I want to stay around a certain place, you're going to want to, if you're going to want to stay there, just take the day, because trying to dip in and out of places, it's not that easy. The traffic can be too much depending on what days it is. If it is on the weekends, it gets better. And then also if you're a night owl, meaning just be out after 8 o'clock, I would say in most of this town, you'd be surprised. You're in pretty good shape getting around. It's not bad. But it'll be busy. It's not going to be necessarily like dead, but you'll be surprised. You can get around all right. So yeah, that's all I got for you right now. And also, yeah, right here, where I'm at, you could also take tours. You'd look up any of the film lots you like if you want to go. That's another thing if you want to do. And again, you might want to take that as a kind of a day thing, even though it might be just an hour or two on the actual tour. But just consider you're getting to places and coming from, because it takes time. You can't dip in and out places, like I said, 5-10 minutes. It's going to be like a half hour that way, an hour something that way. So it's just the way it is. And that's not you stopping and getting anything, and all that shit. So just think of stuff a little more broad. Don't think of like, well, it's only this long, we could get it on, don't rush around like that. I don't know. Some people do. I just think that that's a bit much. My cousin Mark, shout out to Mark, I love him. But, oh man, that's a guy that'll pack it in. But that's cool. I mean, good for him. But, no, he just mostly he drives around. He likes to drive around here when he gets out, just gets a rental car and does that type of sightseeing and so forth. But, actually, I gotta hit him up. Anyways, but yeah, hit one of these tours and, any of the lots, man. Sony, Warner Brothers, Paramount. I think Paramount might have one by now, but I think Universal is famous for theirs, of course, That one, though, you got to go to the park. That's like straight up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. Well, there is the park tour, which is really the one, but there's also a separate VIP thing if you want to spend a few more bucks. And that's where you get to go in the sets and the whole thing. So, but it's all through the park pretty much. So you got to look up, through the park and go from there. But that's the big one. Out of all of them, Universal's definitely the big one. They get to, they got the show off factor. For sure. But the rest, the other lots, I think if you're into any film, movies, and even if you're not super big time into the stuff or whatever, almost anybody could appreciate to see up close and, just get an idea and go, oh, okay, but you have to be into it somewhat. If you're not into any of this stuff, then yeah, of course, why would you go? It's just not going to be up your alley. But Universal's the definite, like, that's the action, that's the more, like, what do you call it? Yeah, it's amusement park style, there's a lot more, like, going on the tour. Oh, man. So yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's pretty much it on that part. Get into some sports for I know you guys I have listeners definitely waiting, like, where's the sports talk, Nate? Fuck these movies and tourist shit. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, because I'm about to just park. So I gotta get back to you on that. So hold that thought. Hey, back on here. Continuing on, it's the evening. Just, don't mind the little beep, that's my car. Just leaving the gig, and yeah, just gonna head out. Actually, just gonna maybe hang for a second, but I thought I'd fire it up real quick, guys, before I keep continuing here in between things. Man, I gotta go to the bathroom again. It feels like all of a sudden, geez, oh man. Oh well. Well, I'm not far from anything. I'll be alright. Oh, man. Yeah, it's getting pretty chilly. Well, it says 52 out right now, but it feels that much colder. It's definitely kicking it up a notch, which was about, that was bound to happen here any minute. Gonna get some even cooler temperatures, but very, very doable. we're going to be pretty much just having 60s as the high. So it'll be like possibly hitting the 40s at night. That's pretty late though. I think that's more like late night, early morning. But you could feel it. So, but it's nice otherwise. Been really nice. No rain looking so far. It's looking maybe ahead. There might be some like another week. But it's a bit far from that, it's a little far off to really say that that's going to happen. But I know we'll get more. Oh, man, but, forget what I left off. Should have probably checked that, what I was, talking about. There was something I remember I was going to bring up, but, excuse me. Oh, burps and this and that. Sorry about that. It's like every time I get my little domain, you get out of work or wherever, and now you're in your little comfort spot, and then, like, the gases come out, the burps, the farts, all that. So yeah, man, just jamming on. Nothing sports-wise. I know I was talking about some shit. This coming weekend, it's the divisional round. Last week was wild card. And, so yeah, we're getting close. It's gonna be, this is the weekend where you really see the talent separate, or who's really real, But, it looks like I think it's some pretty good matchups. I'm not too convinced about, I don't know about Houston, what they're gonna be able to do. But, yeah, I don't know how well they'll do. But, they are a solid team, so we'll see. But I just don't see them going further. Titans I feel good about, but it's Ravens, man, so yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be another one that's gonna be pretty wild, but that's a tough team. I think I think they could rise to the challenge pretty nicely. And then what is it? Who's playing the 49ers? I forget. Sorry, I'm forgetting who's playing who a little bit. Still getting used to who's left in the schedule. It's kind of throws you off. But Packers, I haven't watched them enough. They did well enough record-wise, but their division's pretty weak in a way too. Oh, that's right, Vikings and fucking 49ers. Yeah, yeah, I feel good about the Niners on that, but it's Titans, Ravens, I did call that, and then it's Houston Chiefs, and then it's Seahawks and Packers. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that one's I think that out of all of them, that one's really, to me, kind of the toss-up game, the Packers and Seahawks. The rest of them I feel could be kind of like, I feel like it's Niners, Ravens, Titans, man. I'm going to go Ravens, yeah. Houston and Chiefs. I'm picking home teams right now. I really can't front. And then Seahawks and Packers, I think, is a toss-up. That one, I feel like out of them, from just off the top of my head, I think that one's the toss-up. Then maybe, yeah, Packers might go ahead and win that too. So maybe home. Well, I think maybe home cooking can work this week. But then again, too, these are teams that have been off, so we'll see how they respond. That's the problem. I think sometimes the teams that are already rolling and been playing, they're like already in a mode, and then the other team that got to chill, got a little break, that doesn't always work out. But it can too, getting that rest and all that, it can work. So you can't know really until they play, even if and the other thing is these teams, even if they're really, like the Ravens and the Niners are really strong, but, you still have pretty much with the teams left besides the Packers and the Seahawks. And even in that, it comes down to a couple players here and there. Mainly, I'm talking about the quarterbacks. But you have a lot of people overall in the playoffs that basically haven't played any significant games, maybe, or not many if they have. Kansas City now has some they've been around a little. Now they have some experience from last 2 years really. So that's a pretty strong unit. But yeah, I'd say, I feel like, I guess experience-wise, I think they're kind of one of the strongest ones. And the other teams, you got like I said, you got a guy here and there, a couple people, and then you got a bunch of new guys around them. So it's kind of different, even if they have previous, deep runs. And then you got the Ravens, and they're pretty much, with Lamar, it's new for him. Some other guys it isn't. Titans it's going to be new for. But they're in a spot, those guys like the Titans and the Vikings, if they really, depending on how they look at it or what the coaching's doing or whatever, I mean, really go to they don't have to, I wouldn't freak out at all if you should be able to go in those games and just let the pressure be on the other team, and hopefully you could take advantage of it. But may not happen quite that way too, because it's kind of hard. It's like you like to say that, but then you got to there is pressure no matter what, because you are trying to win. So it's not like, all of a sudden they're going to just give you the fucking thing. So yeah, but there should be a bit more pressure on the favored teams. But we'll see. We'll see who steps up, or what goes down or whatever, the matchups and all that. So, yep, that's what we got going forward this weekend. So, last big weekend where there's a few games and then it goes down from there. And then we got, after this, it's 2 games and then it goes to the Super Bowl and that's it, man. So, it's on. So, there's that. And then, basketball's going on. Not much to comment right now. Same old shit. Pretty much what the league has been this year as far as the leaders in the divisions. It hasn't changed quite much. It's pretty much what it's been. But Miami's really showing they're real. They've been playing really good. I think for the East, I think Miami has a hell of a shot to make some noise when they get deep. I think they definitely. I wouldn't want to have to deal with them. That's about it. Outside of the obvious other teams that will be there, but the Bucks are the strongest so far in the East. They've been really solid. So Raptors, man, I don't know, man. It would be amazing if they would have been able to give it another good run, but at least at this pace, they're not there. They're not there. They'll really have to fight and scrap for that shit. But hey, they could turn it on any moment, or they could just fix some things and just get better, and they might get start making some noise again here. You never know. But so far, it's not working. Yeah, they're not quite that strong right now. But that's about it. Philly seems to be picking up, but they should be good. So, but I don't trust them when it comes down to it. And that's it. I really give it to you got to give it to the Bucks at this point if you're just going to do that whole getting ahead of yourself thing. And in the West, it's definitely got to give it to pretty much the Lakers too. The Rockets, they should be much better. They're not gonna. That's another one like Philly I wouldn't trust, especially with what they've done recently. I think the Rockets had a great chance for a little while, and I think it's slipping away ever so steadily. I just don't think they got it. I don't think they got what they need to get over the hump, really. I don't care if it's Harden, whoever, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, you got to have a team. You got to be, you got to play as a team, period. So, it doesn't mean they're not. It's just that, I don't think they've, I just think, I don't think they have quite the right pieces or chemistry all there. But I'm really, again, I'm going to give you a heads up, guys. You're listening to somebody with some opinions that, I haven't watched a lot of games at all. I kind of just paid attention to the standings. And, I've seen a little bit here and there, and I am familiar, but, this season I can't say I've watched, I watched this game, I watched these guys, No, but, I don't think I'm saying anything too crazy, because, historically, those things kind of matter. Because in teams give you something year in and year out that you kind of see over and over again. It's not by accident. That's what they're going to probably do. It's just like in football or any of these sports. There's just teams that's what they do, it seems, Even if they do good, even if they have a good year, there's countless teams that do that enough, but they get to the playoffs and, not much really occurs, They just kind of, it's like, they just kind of fucking flap around and shit, just to, not the best analogy, but I'm just saying they just can't get over that next level, there's teams that you could see it, they just have it, they got a kind of a closeout instinct. Like the Lakers, I'd say anybody right now, or probably at any time, if you're really good at closing games, you can kind of count on that a lot, and it seems to work that way. That's a good sign. And even if they're not great, pretty ass, awesome wins, that's not really important. Always remember that. It's really not about looking at that. It's about just getting the job done. And that does make it, to me, I think that's bigger than anything. So, pretty standard shit. All right, pulling up, and we're right there. I think we're good. So, yeah, man. So that's the deal right now. But let me stop for a second, and I'll be back with you guys again shortly. Hey, back here again, guys. Just jumping on again. Like I said, same night as you're listening, just from earlier. Just finished hanging out for a second with my friends, my acquaintance type friend, but yeah, no, they're friends. Yeah, running into some peeps, saying what's up, catching up a little. Always good. Grateful for all of that. Glad to see people. Because, when you don't, you wonder, I hope they're all right, So, yeah, all good. Very nice. But, about to head home. Yeah, it's funny. I just left my spot, and, this is a transition for you. So the jukebox went from, Billie Eilish, then to Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade. I don't know what the Billie Eilish song was, but it's the first one I've heard. I still never heard her till now, and it was cool. It was all right. I mean, probably not one of even her better ones, but I thought it was all right. Definitely will check her out. But yeah, I went from that to Bulls on Parade, which I fucking love Rage. I mean, almost, to me, it's like, who doesn't? If you like rock, I think that's that's pretty bad, people that are like, oh, F them, it's like, wow. Which, that almost doesn't exist, at least, I think there was a time it did, though, a little bit. But, yeah, Rage Against the Machine, dude, such a amazing fucking band, and they're going to be performing again this year. Dates are coming up. They're going to be at Coachella. That's already sold out, which I was not surprised. I won't be there, at least at this moment, maybe unless something changes, but, you know, hopefully in some way where, you know, if they have other shows, I'd love to see them again. It's been 20 years, literally. It'll be 20 years for sure coming up. And, because I saw them, the last time I did see them was at, the Democratic Convention here in LA in 2000 at a free show outside, and which you could find on YouTube. You could watch it, and it was a DVD at the time too that came out, but people have loaded that. But it's, you know, I look at even and I'm like, I can't believe I got to be at that. But I was there. I was fucking there. It was all that you could have. You know, everything they got on that, you could see, and that's what it was, for sure. But I broke out of there before the negative stuff started going down, you know, later on with the cops and shit. But I'll be honest, being somewhat, not just, well, being honest, but yeah, there were some people there that day, and now, too, looking back, you don't know who the fuck, they might have just been some provocateurs that were put there, like, because that's real shit, but it doesn't mean they were all that. They, you know, they're all there has to be is a few here and there to kind of stir it up. But yeah, there was people antagonizing and starting shit with the cops at the time, and that definitely didn't help things, of course. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I knew even then at the time, like, dude, guys, like, it's not what we need to do, you know? But, yeah, so anyways, that event was what it was. But, yeah, it was, that was it. That was the last I got to see them. Definitely had another, there was another opportunity or two at the time I should have went and saw them, but I didn't, you know? But it's all good. I saw them back east and I saw them out here. There's three, it's 3 bands actually. No, I got more than that. 4? Might be 4 now. Yeah, I'm thinking about this. I think I mentioned it on previous podcasts. I probably was wrong then too, but no, I've had 4 bands in total. There would be more. There'd be 5. Yeah, we'll stick with 4. It's actually, yeah. I don't know. No. There's more. That's true. Anyways, there's a handful of bands or people that I've seen back in Pittsburgh, and I saw them here. So they're one of them. I saw Rage the first time in '97 in Pittsburgh or outside of Pittsburgh in August, and it was Wu-Tang was still on that tour before they got kicked off. So I got to see that shit. I was one of the few that got to be, you know, at one of those shows. So, yeah. I'm not mad. Even if that's the only times I've saw them between those 2 events, fucking always happy and grateful for that. Very much so. Like, especially both of them. Because I didn't pay for either one. The first one we got from my younger cousin's friend, who won the tickets from a station that wasn't their, like, genre, and they had tickets and they just gave them. And then the guy was out for something, he couldn't go, and he had 2 sets of tickets between 311 and Rage, and we got them. So both of those, a 311 and a Rage show, I didn't pay nothing for them, and it's like, you know, I'm like, to look back on that, it's like, wow. Like, very, very, very fortunate to have been able to do that. Wow. Sorry with all the hiccups. Jesus. Unbelievable. So, yeah, I took you off course there. Sorry, guys, with the hiccups. Jeez, man, it always happens to me. But yeah, so the jukebox went from Billie Eilish, Rage Against the Machine, you know, Bulls on Parade, and then to Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. But it actually worked in a way. It was like a weird one, but it was like, that wasn't bad, you know. Now, I Will Always Love You, for anybody old enough, that was one of those songs that just got played so much, and it was it got, at the time we're not talking now, but especially at the time, really, it just got annoying because it was played so much. But of course now, with time passed and of course her gone, it's you appreciate it much more. And I always liked it anyways. It was just such a it was just one of those massive hits. And any good song, even if it's a good song, it can get ruined when it gets just played over and over out of, you know, success can, you know, ruin some things, you know, like Teen Spirit. As much as that may be a good or a great song, it got played the fuck out too, you know? As well as many, you know, there's a couple, you know, Nirvana songs I would say that kind of got played out, you know? But now, of course, if I hear them, it doesn't mean I hate them, you know? And, God, I'm sorry, it's just these fucking hiccups, man. This is so fucking ridiculous, but oh god, insane. Sorry, I just got to keep going here, but so went to I Will Always Love You, and then I was like, there was another guy there, and this other guy that goes there, this guy Isaac, my buddy Isaac, who goes there, and he's a producer and recording engineer. You know, he's a very talented cat. And I just immediately was like, what studio was this done at? You know, I wondered. And he was like, oh, I don't know either. So he started looking it up on his phone. He's trying to look for it, and nothing's coming up, except for with the original with Dolly Parton, who originally did that song. But I was like, all right, I'll let you go. Now I'm like, okay, when I get home here, I'm about to start looking it up too. Because I gotta know where the fuck that was done, because it's just flawlessly done. I mean, it doesn't have to be in some fancy place, but nevertheless, it makes you, you know, for somebody like myself, it makes you wonder where it was done. I feel like the vocals, at least the vocals for sure, like, it must have been done in a really good room. It just seems like that to me, but I could be wrong. It could have been in a fucking closet. I don't know. Yeah. No, it probably was done in a real, like, studio room. It seems that way, but you never know. You never know. As a engineer, I always keep my mind open, because people pull off some amazing shit with very little or very simple setups, you know. The really talented people, they know what the fuck they're doing. They'll do some wild shit. Sorry about the little, you know, fuel monitor here and my hiccups. It's ridiculous, guys. I'm sorry. It's really fucking ridiculous. Every time I get on this, every fucking time, almost, I get one of these fucking things going on. Nothing before, nothing, zero. No fucking reason. Just like, let's go, hiccups. Really fucking bullshit, but I'm not going to stay up much longer here. I'll be home, and I got to get in touch with my wife so she can move cars and all that good stuff. But, anyways. So that's what's going down. There was a... let me stop for a second. Hold on. This is driving me fucking crazy. Fucking bitch. Alright, here we go. Alright, I got that. Seems like I got it under control. Did a little breath hold. It seems like we're good. But, yeah, I love music stuff like that. And he's also like, I love, you know, my friend Isaac, he was also like, yeah, no, it's cool, man. I like doing this stuff, looking up. No, I do. I like, I've been like that. I'd say anybody that's really a music person or into music, even if you're not, you never worked, or you don't have to be any of that shit, but like a real fan. I mean, this is, you know, somebody, a certain type of somebody, but like I always loved reading credits. I always liked knowing kind of where something was done. I always liked the details, you know. So, and then of course knowing and being around it, you know, and knowing a little bit more, you appreciate it even that much more. But it's funny, you'd be surprised how hard it can be sometimes to find that on the internet. Whereas just back in the day, if you had today you could still do it, but I'm just saying, you'd think that would be no problem to find real quick, but it isn't. And I learned that even just recently before with Porno for Pyro's second album, which I did purchase on CD recently, like a used copy, but I was like, fuck, I wonder where the fuck this was done. I'll look it up real quick. Nothing. And I'm like, dude, you got the fucking CD. So I pulled out the damn insert and looked, and at first I didn't quite see it, and then I was like, oh, there it is, where it was done. And it's like, oh my god. And you're just like, so I'm noticing it's a funny thing, but for certain things, and a lot of music probably, not very easy to look up shit like that, you know, whereas if you have the original thing, no problem, you'll find it usually. So, kind of funny little thing when it comes to like high tech and new stuff being, you know, not as good as sold, or, you know, so incredible. But yeah, just fun. But anyways, the Kings were playing, hockey was on. They were playing the Stars, the Dallas Stars. Yeah, they were playing them in Staples Center. They were losing 2-1 when I left, so I don't know how that's going to end up. For all you hockey fans, something I haven't covered. I got to get into that. I will actually. I'm going to do a little due diligence when I get home here shortly, and I'll fucking look through all that, and I'll give a little, you know, blurb about whatever. I'll give you a little nonsensical blurb that doesn't mean really much. So if you're a bettor and you're looking for some tips, you know, you could take from mine. It may not mean nothing, but you never know. Maybe it will. Nah, man, I don't mind. I like this shit. You know, I like sports. I like the music. I like, you know, just the usual shit. So yeah, I'll talk about some of that. And I need to get into some hockey anyways, because it's coming up where it's going to be NBA hockey pretty much for me. I know it's college basketball, college football just finished, I think. If I'm not mistaken, it should be done by now. You don't hear me talk college. College sports, not my thing, really. I appreciate it to some degree. I appreciate people that like it. I think that's awesome. Like, I can't do it all, you know? I'm just not that guy. I never really was. But I'll take a look. And, you know, I will talk about some March Madness when it comes up. So, 2 little assignments. I'll look at some hockey, and I'll look at what's going on with that. And I'll give you, you know, some of my little crappy takes. So, that's what's up. But yeah, guys, all I could say is, you know, I don't know what I was going to say. But yeah, check out when it comes to music, my check it, dude, make that a little fun thing. If there's certain songs or people, groups, whatever, like I'd say probably by the song. If there's songs that you're like, oh man, I love that, it's whatever it is about it, you like it, or you like, damn, that sounded so good, like, go ahead, do little things like that. Look it up, see where it was done, who did it, all that stuff. It's fun. It's a fun little thing to do for yourself sometimes, you know, if you want to make a little, you know, side project, or it's like a password, it's like a crossword puzzle, you know, in a way, without doing any crosswords. I don't know, but no, it's a little mystery. It's like kind of fun to do, and like I said, it is on the internet. surprisingly kind of difficult to find out some shit. Whereas, that's what I'm saying, it's so funny, because, like, it seems every other thing is so easy to find out. You can find people's ages real fast, you can find out what project they're working on, you can find out damn near where they live. I mean, you can find out so much shit. Oh, where did that song get recorded? Well, that's another story. That's why it's kind of funny to me. So, but if you happen to have the actual CD or any of that stuff, pull it up, you know, pull out that thing and look it up. Look in the notes, you know, it'll be there. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun little thing. And I bet you'd be pretty surprised how few places all this stuff has been recorded at, really. I'd say some of the best work ever, some of the great songs ever that people really like, I would almost guess that it's probably all been recorded at like 10 different places, maybe. That's it. You know, whether it's worldwide or not. I mean, it's probably just really that many. It's not, you know, I mean, there's variance, and I'm not saying that's exactly, but you'd be surprised the number would be pretty small for some of this stuff, especially at a certain point when the studios were more necessary to be like big and all that shit. Nowadays, you know, you could do a lot in your bedroom. So, I mean, that's gone on for a while. Anyways, guys, let me stop and I'll be back. All right, finishing up. About to head on out. I guess probably head home straight up, even though I kind of don't want to just yet. But whatever. Another night. Ain't nothing too crazy going on. It's Thursday. Just a chilly night here in LA. About it's just in the 50s. That's really I know it's not even that bad for a lot of people, but you feel it. It feels colder. It feels a little colder than that, but it's not bad. Nothing a decent jacket and a little hat will do you for. But anyways, pretty good day, I would say, minus a little mishap. Didn't get my paycheck, but I wasn't the only one, which that's good, but it should be all good by tomorrow. At least I was told, so hope it all works out. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just, you know, just a bit annoying, and I'm glad. Thankfully, nothing pending was going on. So I got enough. I've got enough to make it through a night or whatever. It's no big deal. But yeah, man, it fucks with you a little bit. Can't lie. But yeah, other than that though, no, great day, smooth. Got to finish some work that I was hoping to do, so that was good. And yeah, that's all. That's about it. Sports wise, just NBA action, college, and you know, other crap, depending on what you're watching. But yeah, it's pretty much just basketball and hockey right now. But yeah, a couple fucking surprise losses happening. I think excuse me, Jesus, giving you my daily burp whenever I start this thing up. But yeah, it's Boston and Philly. Philly had down at least one big man with Embiid out, but Boston can't win. So, you know, just you know, nothing special going on with them. And then Trailblazers losing to the Timberwolves. At least they were. I don't know if they ended up losing, but it's pretty bad. So yeah, I was watching my man Morency, Sports Rage. If you don't know about, check out Sports Grid actually on YouTube. Sports Grid, check it out. Definitely, if you're into betting or just sports in general. You don't have to be a gambler, but probably going to be more helpful if you are. That's their wheelhouse when it comes to the sports talk, but a lot of other good stuff too with it. So yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, they were talking about the games and just giving their overview on some of the stuff going on, but yeah, they were just mentioning how Boston, how they really haven't done anything, especially with Brad Stevens, who people thought would, get that team over the next level again or whatever, but they haven't done anything, and it's true, they really haven't. And they've been making moves where it's like you seem like you're building, you got a guy, and then they get rid of him, and it's like they're still not like they still haven't put the team they think they should have or something. It's like very sketchy. But yeah, there's going to be. I think this is going to just be a problem more. It already is, but you're just going to see more of it. Guys. I think it's just come down to. It's good for the players, maybe not the fans sometimes, but, they're getting to pretty much do what they want, and, yeah, I don't know if guys don't seem to, I don't think they want to be stuck in long-term contracts. I mean, of course, that's gone out the window for a while, but, I think it's just getting to where it's even shorter. You'll see guys doing 2 years, 3 year stints, so. It's going to be, you just don't get too attached to anybody too quick, because it may not last. But right now, the Lakers seem to be in that situation, perhaps, with Anthony Davis. So we'll see. We'll see, though, but, the guy, I get it. He's just trying to probably see what he can get out there, and why not? But yeah, for the fans, like I said, it's kind of a bummer. You can't really, you gotta love that team no matter who's on it, and but the sad, you just can't get consistency sometimes, especially these teams that really have nothing, but yeah, it's like all these sports, man. There's so many. Like I'm going to go on, and I hate to repeat myself, but it's not me trying to do that. It's just the way it is. But there's just losing ass teams, man. Oh shit! Did I go to? Oh fuck, man. Sorry, I'm just realizing I probably should have went a different way. But yeah, there's just losing ass teams in any sport over and over and over, and it's just like. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't fucking matter. People, it's not that these guys want it to be that way. It's just, again, it's hard to get anything really going. And also, hey, even out of that selective, these are the best of the best. I mean, there's guys, obviously, way less high up that are amazing players. You could be a guy that just did college or whatever and still be like really fucking good, but it just boils down more and more once you get to the NBA. So it's tough. It's just tough. It's tough for a team or an organization to really get to that championship level, even if it's once in the, look at the Raptors, they've been in the league, I think they just went on their 20th or something, and they finally got it, and then good for them. And there's teams older that still haven't done it, so but that might be their last shot, and they looked like a team that you could see maybe win it back to back, perhaps. But honestly, I don't even know. Even if they had Kawhi, I don't know if they would have been that. I don't know if they would have been that dangerous or not. So it would have been a difference. I'm not trying to say it wouldn't. It definitely would have. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's up. Let's see here. Just going to pull in. If you can, I don't know. Pretty shitty situation here. Wow. Yeah, I got to get some gas as usual. My constant getting gas mode gets kind of old, but that's the way it is. But hey guys, I'm going to stop and I'll be back a little later. Hey guys, I'm back on here. It is continuation of this podcast. We're getting to Monday morning, so I get to give you some recap of the weekend playoffs. So we're getting this back on schedule for you. Of course, as you know, if you listen, and if you see it on the YouTube, it tells you there too, dropping every Tuesday. So I pretty much drop every Tuesday, or have it set up so it does drop basically late Monday, Tuesday morning, like around that. Of course, I'll do my best. If I happen to be late, I always try to put it on my Twitter, or mostly Twitter. I'll put it out there. You know, it's going to run late. But, you know, it's the best I can do, guys. So if you find out, you find out. If you don't, you don't. If I'm running late, you know, and for some reason you don't see anything, you don't see me update in time, then, you know, just check out other episodes. It'll come up, don't worry. No, it's been, if you've listened, I think I've stayed on really well. Yeah, no, I've been, especially these last, I think now it's going into year 3 or 4 of being like super consistent. I mean, I'd even go further back. I'd say even 2015 was like when I really stepped up. And yeah, that's when I started. That was like my first big, like I started doing a lot of episodes, you know. But I didn't, you know, I didn't keep it all the way up through the whole year. So that's why I say that. But yeah, you know, I've been doing it for 10 years. But yeah, I'd say pretty much half of this time it's been more productive, you know. The earlier part of it was like very scattered. And yeah, which is, you know, I look back and just shake my head like, why did I do that? You know, like, damn, you know. But it's pretty simple, you know, laziness. I don't know. I just wasn't, I wasn't maybe believing in it enough. I was just like having, you know, it was just kind of a thing. I wasn't as focused to like really put it in action. But never mind that, because we're here now, and it still counts. It's 10 years. It still is what it is. A lot of podcasts, a lot of people, they give up much faster than that, and especially if you, especially if you didn't, you know, do some things like me. And a lot of people, and myself included, I mean, it's easy to, you maybe start a project, you don't get it like done when you wanted it really done, but you did. Let's, like, same situation. I'm just talking about maybe there's something in your life you started up at one point and then you just fucking let it die, or you just didn't do anything with it, and then maybe you came back and you got it going and finished or continued it, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't. They'll do the project to a certain point and then they'll let it die, or just like give up, or whatever you want to say. Maybe they just don't believe enough, whatever. And even outside, it doesn't have to be that. Sometimes it's just life. You got way more important things going on, and you know, that just isn't on the list, you know, podcast or whatever. And that's totally understandable. But more often it's like, it's a lot of times we let things just, you know, we just let it go. We don't believe anymore. We don't keep it going. And a lot of times people don't actually even try that hard and to even say that they failed. You know, they're like, oh, they did one podcast, or they wrote one song, or tried to write one song, or maybe even 10 songs or whatever, or 10 podcasts, and then they just go, oh, you know, they start saying negative things about it, and Just try to get out of it, you know what I mean? But yeah, don't do that. Don't succumb to that. But if you have to stop for a little bit, for whatever reason, maybe, you know, it's just part of that growing process. You know, you do get frustrated, and that's the thing. You know, it's just, you want to get out of that. The whole thing is that habit is very, it's not helpful, because it means anything you're going to get into, you're going to do the same thing most likely. You got to look at how you're reacting. What are you know? That's the thing that's more important. It's not about like what you're doing. It's about, you know, that's important. But I'm saying it's about, you know, keeping the feet moving forward. Because that podcast or whatever it is you started, or music, just because you have some that are bad or you don't like them as much or whatever, doesn't mean the ones continuing on are going to be no good. You know, you have to just keep going, and you get better in the process, or at least you try to. So that's my little pep talk for today. Yeah, seriously, I hope it is. I hope that does give somebody a lift, or like get you going out there with whatever that is. Even school, you know, you might have like got out of high school and started college and then stopped, or you may never went. You still haven't gone, but it's something you wanted to do. You know, start looking into it. You know, get it going. I'm looking into some classes right as we speak, and I got to make a decision. I don't really have to, but it's kind of would be. I don't know. I think it would be a good time to do it, quite honestly. But anyways, that's for me to decide here. I'm just saying it to remind myself. So yeah, there's all those things. All right, so we're gonna get into the recap of football, the football, NFL football, the divisional playoffs this past weekend. So this is to get you into the championship between either, depending on what conference you're in, the AFC conference or the NFC conference. So this is the divisional round that we were talking about after the wild card weekend we had previously. But things got, I'd say, even a little wilder. Titans played the Ravens. Definitely a game that everybody thought, not everybody, but a lot of people were not giving the Titans a real shot. Even myself, I was pretty strong on the Ravens. And boy, Titans shut everybody down. That game, they got on top of it quick. And they just held them down, wouldn't let them do nothing. And Titans won 28-12 in Baltimore. So strong, two strong-ass wins, man. You win over New England, which is ridiculous, in the fashion they won. And now you win at Baltimore, same in the same sense, but even stronger. That's a hell of a fucking team right now, guys. If anybody's just Tannehill and the record and all that, you might want to put that aside right now. When a team like this is hot and coming, and it's gross. Sorry, no pun, guys. When they're just really hot like this, and they're not scared of anybody, and they're playing as a group. I mean, these guys played very complete football from what I could see. I didn't watch it super intensely, but I watched enough, and Derrick Henry's a beast. You can't stop him. He's a man amongst children right now, the way he looks out there. He doesn't give a fuck. Very, just like they're going to say a throwback, but he is to some degree. He's just faster than a big guy from years ago. You know what I mean? He's even faster. Bettis is pretty fast, so he's in better shape than Bettis was. So, but as far as that battering, ramming away, or like unstoppable, I would definitely put him like a Bettis kind of running back. There's some other guys, but Bettis is a great example of that tough downhill, hard to take down runner. He was definitely the same. But this guy, very special, Derrick Henry. So congrats to him and what he's doing this season. And Tannehill playing, man, being smart, not making it about himself. just being a team guy. And, being confident. He's playing confident. He's got obviously a lot of people that's giving him that, from coaches to, they just got a great thing going. Looked a little bit over their coaching staff. A lot of talent there, a lot of years, a lot of experience I see. So that's really, I'd say that's pretty important. Not that other teams don't have that, but, I just wanted to give a look. I thought maybe it changed at some point recently, but probably Vrabel, perhaps. I'm not sure. But they did recently, I know they had a decent amount of Steelers-related staff there, but it didn't appear that I didn't see that really this time. Like, guys that used to play or maybe, like, coached with the Steelers or whatever. It was, like, recent, but, that must have changed up because I don't really quite see that. So, nevertheless, good organization, and they've been as far as a franchise, I mean, they have been, at times, really great. I mean, the Steve McNair days and all that, and I swear, man, he would be proud of this team. And he would love to be on this team. McNair in his prime with this team that the Titans have, oh, man, that would be sick. Talk about a sick, and we could bring Eddie George in there too. How about that? No doubt, Eddie George was a big part of that. This is to all the old heads that remember, but yeah, that was some good teams back then for sure. And they've had a couple instances here and there. They've always at least had. They always seem to play you tough, even in their bad seasons. They're not just a complete failure of a team. They always seem to. They always seem to give you something every now and then, even when they haven't been on top of their game, as a team. But yeah, I've had respect for that franchise, and I rooted for them when they played the Rams. I really wanted them to win that year, so we'll see where they go. So that was that. They beat the Ravens, took them down. The Ravens just weren't, I don't know if they partied, I don't know, they didn't seem right, rested or just out of sync, and I don't know, they weren't, they couldn't gather themselves the right way, they seemed to be getting beat down, really, they weren't on, their offensive line was atrocious. A lot of times, and Jackson did what he could. He was trying not to do stupid shit out there, and he I don't think he really did. I think he did what he could, but he had to still go for things. He had to go for it. He had a lot of people dropping balls, so he what are you gonna say? I don't know, man. Just wasn't his game. It wasn't the game for them. Just as a team, it wasn't even about him. Their defense just not shut down as they needed. Obviously, once any team gets a good running game going on you're in trouble. We'll put it that way. You don't have to have much more than you got. All you need from there is some decent throws, and obviously, you do want to score when you're in range. But if you got the running game, you're probably going to score on the ground anyway. So it just makes things. It opens things up, and that's what it is. That's what it's been a lot for Tannehill, and he knows it. A lot different from when you're on the Dolphins without any running game and a strong line and, everything. It's it makes quite a difference, doesn't it? Because he's already been a pretty good quarterback, if not really good at times, but now you're seeing it. It's great system and everything around you with a guy that's capable makes a difference. So kudos to that. Yeah, so we'll move on. I'm trying to think. The next game was the Vikings and the 49ers. Actually, I think that was the earlier game. Yeah, that might have been the earlier game on Saturday. I'm trying to go, in order. But Minnesota came to Santa Clara, not quite San Francisco, But either way, the Niners showed up. Fans were hyped. That's another thing I want to say. Shout out to most of the home crowd. Yeah, even the Ravens probably. I'm sure they just didn't have a chance to really get excited at any point. Maybe early, but great home crowds out there, man. Really, really good crowds. And we'll get to one of the more rocking ones, I would say. Probably the most rocking crowd out of them all. But yeah, the Niners crowd, probably more hype than I've seen in a while. And deservedly so. Vikings came and they just couldn't deal with them. Niners were way too much for them. Much what I was thinking. It's a very well coached team. I'm going to have to look at the score because I can't remember what the fuck it was. But I know they got them pretty good. It wasn't like... At a certain point, it wasn't a whole lot to watch. We'll put it that way. So it was one of... there was a lot of this week, and there's only one game we're going to get to that actually, got pretty interesting, or something could have happened, I should say. Yeah, it was 27-10. Yeah, Vikings didn't have a fucking chance, and yeah, that's how that goes. So the Niners move on. Vikings again, at some point. See, I'm not surprised they can't do it. That was a big task. I knew with the Niners, I was like, that's, they were gonna have to play like stellar, like if they'd have to have like some strong defense plus some, they were gonna need probably some defensive scoring. Wow, thanks, guy. Fucking jackass. Like you needed to do that. Just cuts me off because this truck in front of him in his lane. What a dick. Anyways, we're gonna end up at the same fucking light up here. Yeah, you want to get in my lane, that's right. So anyways, I'm not gonna start anything. But yeah, that's how that goes. The Vikings, not surprised. This is what they do, or this is how it is for Vikings fans. Sorry again, but now you got to have a better quarterback. Obviously, they probably need some other work too. But they had some moments. They had some moments early there. It wasn't like, they just didn't have any chance. It's just, they don't have the firepower quite yet for a team for them to deal with a 49er type situation. I mean, that's not even. They did what they could this year. So either way, Vikings, don't hold your head. You made it further than a lot of teams. You made it further than the Patriots, and played a stellar team that could very well win it all. All right, so we're going to move on to Sunday. We had the start off with the Texans and the Chiefs. Definitely the most exciting game overall, pretty much. Houston comes out fucking guns blazing, playing out of their minds, get up 24-0, and then all of a sudden, Bill O'Brien decides to go for it on a fourth down for no fucking reason, for no real need, and from that point on, the meltdown happened, and we end up with a final score of 51-31. Just complete fucking failure. Of course, KC, very capable, very good team, a lot of firepower, not a team you could just let the gas off on, you can't get up, obviously you can't just get up to 24 and think it's over with those guys. You got to trade blows. They tried, they did get a little more there, 31, but not a whole lot in that game. So a huge scoring game, monster score. I don't even know what the over and under originally was for that. I'm sure it was maybe close to 50, 60 points at tops, but we're talking 82 points. That's over the number. Huge game. But yeah, big lights out game for Mahomes and company. Good for them with the comeback. And I give KC fans, they had that's the most rocking crowd this year, or this playoff so far, I would say. I felt like they were real fucking good crowd, real excited, everything. I don't know if they had drink specials. I don't think anybody gave a fuck. People were probably spending $200-300 on beer, didn't give a shit. No, or maybe not. Maybe a lot of booze snuck in there, you know, but you could get that it was a rocking crowd. And maybe they weren't as drunk as they, you know, it could have been just a good wild fun. But no, I'm sure there was some fluids there involved, being out in that weather and so forth. So good times, good for them. Congrats, KC. You get to move on. Hopefully they can. We'll see what they can make it further. But so that's that, and then we'll end with Sunday. In the East Coast, Sunday evening game, Sunday afternoon for out here, late afternoon. But it was Seattle Seahawks versus the Packers, and This was the most like close scored game after it was all said and done. Again, I think Seattle was getting up pretty early, making some noise. Packers started coming back, and pretty quickly, and they stayed ahead. Once they got it going, I mean, you could tell it was pretty much theirs to lose. So, and they definitely didn't do that. They rose to the occasion. Defense, everybody stepped up. Another good crowd. Can't front. Definitely a good crowd. Up there in Green Bay, no doubt. Not nothing to look over with that. But Aaron Rodgers, getting to continue on his career deep in the playoffs. Last of the older cats, even though he's kind of younger, but he's getting a little up there now too. I don't know. I think he's 35 or something like that. I'll have to look, but yeah, he great game. Russell Wilson and them too. Great game. I think they did their best, but it just wasn't enough. Packers just a little too much, and it is what it is. So yeah, that was the close game. Actually, it was kind of boring in a little bit, early on a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. For yesterday, I was just in and out. I did watch the games, but where I could, I was going to lay down, take a nap, chill out. It was nice, man. I truly kicked back yesterday, which was kind of good. I needed to do that since I've been kind of, been on the go a bit. Not too much, but, it's good for you to do every now and then. I just totally relaxed, did a little detox, if you want to say. I just had a little more beer than I probably should have on Saturday. Nothing crazy, but a little more than needed. And I was like, yesterday I was like, nope, just going to totally chill out. And it was great. It was good stuff. And you feel better for Monday. Monday you feel good for it. It's like good. You don't have to go in Monday going, oh man, I feel a little fucked up. Fuck that noise, man. Too old for that shit. If I can help it, But hey, if you're feeling that way, hold your head. Keep hanging in there. You'll get through the day. Get yourself some water. Get hydrated. Get some juice in your life, too. Yeah, get some good juice. I just tried these cold press juice from 7-Eleven. And pretty good actually, not bad. So 7-Eleven getting in the game. Yeah, really, really pretty good. Actually, the one gave me a good idea. They used mint. It was a green juice. They had everything. Celery, this, that, the other. And they used mint in there, which I would definitely taste, but I was like, oh, okay. I'm definitely going to have to try that with some of my juice for sure. That's a good one to use, man. If you want to, get the flavor better, put some mint in there. Some mint, boy. Put some mint and honey, you're really going to be straight. And it's all good. It's all natural. It's better for you than, sodas and shit. So if you don't feel like making your own, go to 7-Eleven now. They got juices. It was 2 for $5 on sale. And I think regular price, they're 2 for $6. You know what I mean? So, not that, they're very reasonable. Because the other ones are, $4 a piece? Some are even $5. And then if you go to a Jamba or like any of those places, you're talking like $7, $8. You might get more. But yeah, I'm just saying, that's the nature of things. All this stuff is way more available than it was. So you guys can get, there's no excuses. If you don't want to make your own, just go pick up at 7-Eleven. Go to the store, whatever one you'd like. Try them out. You like the naked juice, try them out. I would suggest, though, try to stick with try to go for the green, or look at the sugar, too. You'd be surprised. I mean, it is fruit. It's okay. It's still better than a lot of other stuff, but try to stick with, try to pay attention to that less sugar amount version. Any of the green ones are usually should be pretty good, as far as that. But yeah, that was, both. I tried that, the green one, and I tried the red one, which was like beets and whatever. They're both great, man. Nothing wrong with it. So yeah, man, that's pretty much what's up. I had a good, it was a cool weekend. Saturday went out, hung out, watched the game, and I had some beer, some good New England IPA. They have an IPA now. It's definitely worth trying. I like it. I think it's really, if you like IPAs, I like that one, really. I put it up there. But I'm trying to think if I tried it. Yeah, there was something else I think I tried. Damn, I can't remember the name of it. Bubble Stash, something like that. One of these funny names. They got another IPA. It was pretty good too. But yeah, it crept up though, man. I took my time. I was, I had water in between here and there. I did as good as I did a chill out version. I wasn't like pounding beer, but it just was like, I had a little more than I should have, a little bit. But that's all. No harm, no foul. Everything's fine. Still had a great, fun evening, and it just goes through. The weekend just goes, man. It's pretty fast. And that's where yesterday or sometime you're like, oh man, you feel like you still didn't get this or that done. And there's really not much choice. You have either like a weekend where it's like, okay, you could just chill out, hang out, kind of be loose, or you start getting into work or things and then you're just busy the whole time, I don't know. If I got to figure out a way I got to get really good at balance. Like, start off early. Maybe just start off early for the day. Do a bunch of work. Give yourself some time in between. Get some food. Rest. And then, and then go out and have an evening. That way. That's really ideal. Then you're like, oh, okay. Like, you feel like you got some shit done. And not just dicking around. But either way, it's all good. Main thing is don't can't beat yourself up. Don't act, I think that's the problem. It's like, oh, I didn't do this. It's like, don't worry about it. You get it. Just make sure to get it done. That's all. Sooner or later. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get going. It's the end of the podcast. And thanks for listening again. Shout out to everybody. Peace.